Hello, and welcome to the community concert series here at First Presbyterian Church of Wheaton. We are so delighted to share music for our time with you today. This concert will explore the vast challenges many of us have faced this year, from COVID-19 to conversations of racial justice and one of the most divisive elections to date. 2020 has proven to be a year for the record books. As an artist, I've watched how musicians all around the world grieve for loss of employment, continue to create from places of activism, and consistently provide beauty and hope in our darkest times. This concert is a celebration and continuation of that tenacity. Today, in spite of everything around us, we continue to make music. Black music and musicians historically have only comprised 4 to 6% of all classical music. This includes the musicians on stage and the music that's performed. The first half of this concert will consider our nation's recent conflicts around racial injustice and the systemic racism that exists even in classical music. With the murder of George Floyd in May of this year, conversations around the Black Lives Matter movement resurged, and even classical music was challenged to face its own complacency with systemic racism. Today, we wanted to allocate the first half of this concert to celebrating the contributions of Black composers and arrangers in America. The first set of songs you will hear were written by Henry Thacker Burleigh, an American composer, arranger, and professional singer who lived from 1866 to 1949. Burleigh was the first Black composer to make Black music available to classically trained musicians. A graduate of the National Conservatory of Music in New York, Burleigh studied with well-known Czech composer Antonín Dvořák. Burleigh, who also became known worldwide for his excellent baritone voice, sang spirituals while cleaning the conservatory's hall to support himself during his studies. This drew the attention of Dvořák, who asked Burleigh to sing for him. Burleigh recounted, "I sang our Negro songs for him very often, and before he wrote his own melodies, he filled himself with the spirit of the old spirituals." Dvořák added that, "In the Negro melodies of America, I discover all that is needed for the great and noble school of music." It wasn't until the late 1890s that Burleigh began composing his own concert songs, which within a decade established an impressive reputation for him nationally. Today, you will hear selections from his song cycle, 5 songs on poems by Laurence Hope, which sets the poetry of British writer Adela Florence Corey, who wrote under the pseudonym of Laurence Hope. Each is sung by an unhappy lover and displays Burleigh's skill for writing expressive vocal lines over rich, complex harmonies. Please join me in welcoming vocalist Jessica Coffey and pianist Paul Burgess.
The brain
There once was a time where spirituals were unknown by worldwide audiences, but this would all change with one man, Moses Hogan. He is known for single-handedly introducing the professional choral spiritual and revitalizing the Negro spiritual tradition. Moses Hogan was an American composer and arranger of choral music who lived from 1957 to 2003. Over his lifetime, he published 88 arrangements for voice, 8 of which were solo pieces. I'm told that Mr. Hogan paid a visit to the Westminster Choir here at First Pres Wheaton in his final years before his death. And I'm sure that that experience was life-changing, and it was great to meet and work with him. Today, you will hear his solo arrangement of "He Never Said a Mumbling Word." What I cherish so much about Hogan's arrangements is how he contextualizes the spiritual. In this setting, you hear a haunting piano introduction that almost paints the atmosphere around the crucifixion. This motif comes back as interludes between the vocal stanzas, almost as if to remind you of the unescapability of the cross. Over and over reminded of our Savior who hung, bled, and died on the cross and never said a word. Many of you may already know this, but for those who don't, I didn't grow up in the Presbyterian tradition. My home church in Georgetown, South Carolina is called Greater Gethsemane Missionary Baptist Church, and that is where it all started. I would sit on the front pews every Sunday, meticulously observing the musicians. Gospel music was the beginning of my musical journey, and gospel music is still at the center of my heart. This music always had a way of sonically speaking to the trauma, pain, and oppression of the past, and even present experience for Black Americans, all while theologically pointing towards our unshakable hope and faith in Christ. Gospel music is everything to me, and I couldn't be more thrilled to offer a classic song by the legendary Walter Hawkins. Hawkins was a Grammy Award-winning gospel singer, composer, and pastor who lived from 1949 to 2010. Hawkins started his career in one of his brother's chorales. They recorded an album in 1968 as a local fundraiser. A song from that album would become a crossover hit and a part of American music forever. That song was Oh Happy Day. During his 30-plus year career in gospel music, Hawkins created an extensive catalog of music which consisted of at least 14 albums. Today you'll hear one of my favorites by Hawkins, Be Grateful. If any song on this program speaks to our current times and future hopes, I believe it's this one.
Chicago Arts and Music Project is an El Sistema Orchestra program that serves East Garfield Park and provides free instruments and free music programming 6 days a week. Every student gets a free instrument, free rehearsals, free concerts, and free lessons.
I actually like it here because I meet new friends and the instruments I play. My favorite instrument is a saxophone. I've seen some other good saxophones. They inspired me to play. My favorite thing was to learn a new instrument. When I heard about the Chicago Arts and Music program, they had like all types of instruments, like the French horn, saxophone, the violin, the cello, the flute. When I picked my instrument, which was a saxophone, I thought this is my go-to. This is what I want to play for the rest of my life.
It's sort of like kind of fun. I always sit with my best friend, and then we always play, and it's always fun.
My favorite part about being here is friends, my music teacher, and getting to learn how to be a musician.
One of the things that we were really excited about in terms of going to the recitals and the tours is just to see how much they've grown in terms of proficiency with the instruments. And then just to watch not only Raven, but a lot of the other kids in the program as they just got better and better and better with each performance. Even over the space of a couple of months, it was really impressive.
One thing that sets Chicago Arts and Music Project apart from other programs is the emphasis on social activism and social change. We emphasize making a positive impact on the community using music as a vehicle for change.
I think the importance of it, helping out in the community with music, is you're giving these kids something positive to do here in our communities where they're not shoplifting or running around with a bad crowd. They're actually doing something that can help them change their communities. You have more of a positive outlook. They're making people smile, they're goofy, they're playing, making people happy with their music.
In March of this year, our entire world changed as we all moved into social isolation. This time has been particularly difficult for artists all over. I sat by as many musicians, myself included, had concerts canceled, contracts voided, and our livelihoods crumbled. To make matters worse, this wasn't just our paychecks disappearing, but our passion, our purpose, what many of us feel like we were created to do was impossible. 8 months later, and we're all still navigating this complicated virus. The grand packed concert halls with full orchestras or opera productions isn't a luxury we can afford during this pandemic. To cope, many of us have turned our music making into a more intimate and personal affair. Chamber ensembles have replaced full orchestras, and virtual choirs have provided a safe way for singers to connect. Today, I am honored to be joined by cellist Micah Sanders and pianist Garrett Bone to perform the deeply introspective clarinet trio in A minor by Johannes Brahms. German composer Brahms lived from 1833 to 1897 and is known as one of the masters of the Romantic period in classical music. He's often put alongside Bach and Beethoven in what's known as the 3 Bs. This clarinet trio was one of 4 chamber works featuring clarinet composed by Brahms after emerging from his self-declared retirement toward the end of his life. At a concert in March of 1891, he heard clarinetist Richard Mühlfeld and was overwhelmed with his beautiful playing. So strong was the impact of that experience that Brahms was shaken out of his year-long creative hibernation. The distinct sonority of the trio rises from its unusual combination of instruments, and Brahms makes full use of the rich sound of the cello, as well as the mellow sounds of the clarinet. The trio is composed in 4 movements, with each movement building on themes established by the previous. It has been a true joy working with these wonderful musicians and friends. Please enjoy Brahms's clarinet trio in A minor.
while Jess and Paul come back up to the front of stage, I just want to take this time and thank all of you all for tuning in and watching this concert. It's been such a joy and a pleasure to put this together. Thank you to all of these fabulous musicians on stage who worked tirelessly to put a not so easy program together and not a lot of time. And I think each one of these musicians really gave their all despite of many of the things that we are dealing with today. So please give all of them your thanks in the chat. Please let us all, I mean, not me, but thank all of them for all of their incredible work and for pulling this incredible program together. Again, thank you, and I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday evening.